Welcome back to Ride JBI. This is JB. Today we finished up another revalve on a WP XACT 6500 cartridge drop-in kit. This kit was revalved to our newest JBI Suspension Motocross Spec. If you've been following along with us on YouTube, you have been able to watch our journey from riding these in stock form, which they come set up for motocross and they work quite well. And then you could follow along as we tested, tuned, and developed some improved moto settings. That was our Moto Setting 1, and now we are on our Moto Setting 2. It's been about 2 months later of testing and tuning, and I'll go into details of what that is. These cartridges are being fitted into a 2023 KTM 300SX, and they are a rider on the bigger side of physique. He is 6'3" and over 250 pounds. We commonly set up for riders on the bigger side, and that is a pretty easy thing to do once you understand how to do it and what parameters of the suspension you need to adjust to account for somebody of that size and physique. So, again, the WP XACT 6500 cartridges were revalved to our JBI Suspension Motocross Spec. That means the internal settings on these cartridges have been modified from how they come from WP. One of the things we do is we change out the pressure spring. The spring rate we utilize will vary per build, per rider, and riding type, but that is one of the things we commonly modify on these forks. Along with changing that out, we change out the valving to our JBI Motocross Spec valving. That is modifications on the base valve, which is in about this region of the fork, and also modifications on the mid valve, which is in about this region of the fork. On the base valve, we change out the compression piston post, also called the low speed valve. That is these parts in gray. This part interacts with your compression clicker. So let's grab this. So when you adjust the compression clicker on your forks, that center one, you are interacting with this low speed valve, and you are dictating how much oil can flow through the center of it right here, and then come out these 4 bypass holes. Normally what's installed onto this post is the piston and valving. So with your clicker up here, we are controlling the bypass, how much oil can flow through our valve, and bypass our compression valving and shims. Now the JBI Subvalve is similar design but different. This piece in gold, as you can see, the holes have been moved from the bottom to the top of the post, and that allows us to run shims on here. So now not only can we regulate how much oil volume passes through our low speed valve, aka subvalve, we can manipulate that volume again with our clicker. We can either turn it in or out to adjust how much oil can flow through here, but we can also put shims on this area to cover those holes. So it gives us another way to meter the oil flow on the fork. This type of component, again called a subvalve, it is stock in all KYB forks. Whether it's a production SSS fork or a kit SSS fork. It is also stock on all these Showa twin chamber forks, whether it is their production model or their A-kit model. What I'm getting at is there is a reason why low speed valves are used, because when you incorporate them correctly, you improve the overall damping efficiency of that fork cartridge. The more efficient a cartridge operates, or let's say a damper operates, the better it's going to perform. Now, what do I mean by better? By better, I mean is going to handle a wider range of riding types, speeds, and abilities. It's going to do that better. Why? Because the damper is performing more efficiently, meaning it is creating compression and rebound damping more efficient and more effectively than it previously has. And when it does that, it allows the damper to work across a wider range of riding terrain, obstacles, and speeds. That's what dictates good suspension. Bad suspension is when it has a very narrow window that it works well in. Either it's way too soft, so it's very comfortable to ride on small bumps, but then it bottoms out very easily on anything bigger, or it's way too stiff and you feel every single bump, but then you get good bottoming as well. So that is what happens when you have suspension with a very narrow range of damping effectiveness and efficiency. So that's why at Ride JBI we heavily focus on making forks and shocks more efficient at their damping job. Because again, the more efficient it is, the better it's going to work, and we're not really creating compromise anywhere else. We're not doing that in exchange for losing performance somewhere else. Instead, it just performs better overall. There's no information yet on our website about the JBI Titanium WP cone valve / XACT subvalve. It will be for sale soon individually, but right now we have a small quantity, so we're keeping them reserved to our in-house builds only. And there'll be more technical information on ridejbi.com as well. Of course, the kit comes with a preload adjustment tool right here, compression adjustment tool right here. We include our JBI suspension stickers along with the OE ones right behind it. So these cartridges are ready to drop in. We already have the proper springs fitted to it, along with the correct preload spacer selected and fitted to the spring as well. So the customer is going to follow along with our JBI suspension settings guide that we provide when they install these cartridges, and they'll set the clickers to what we advise them to, pour in the recommended amount of oil, tighten everything up, remount it to the bike, and they will be ready to ride. Ride JBI has tested, tuned, and developed settings for all other types of dirt bike riding. All the different types of off-road riding, such as enduro, open desert, works, GNCC, you name it, we got a setting. The different types of motocross riding, whether you want our standard motocross setting, or maybe a soft moto setting, or even our pro motocross setting, meaning like a true AMA pro racer. And we also have some settings for free riding in the hills, arena cross, supercross, and FMX. If you'd like Ride JBI to do your suspension, please give us a call or send us an email. We'll talk about the year, make, and model bike that you have, what options are available, and what setup would be best for you. All JBI suspension services and parts can be found at ridejbi.com.